What's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 5 of the Losi 5T build-up. In the past 4 parts of the video, I've completely stripped down the truck, added in the front and rear chassis brace, the front top bulkhead brace, the Team Fast Eddie droop screw bump stops, and the Team Fast Eddie 0 degree toe. In this video, I will be installing the excuse me, the radio tray at the fuel tank and the engine. I'm not sure if the engine will be into this series or the next. We'll just see how far this video goes and what we get done. All right. Let's start with the radio box. One good thing about the Losi, actually about the HPI, the Baja, the entire system is modular. Basically, everything is just held together. And you can take all the servos out in one fell swoop, which is kind of nice. Seeing as how this guy is the binding drive, it has all the telemetry sensors, so I just have to route my wire for the sensors. For the speed, the temperature sensor up under the chassis, and then I have my wire I have to route over here to my lights. All right, so let's flip this guy on its side. And that way I can get to the screws. I'm trying to think of, I have some old tires here I can prop up with. Might be able to prop it up with that. Just to get to the level I need. Let's see, get them like that. Again, if I had an Access RC stand, this would not be an issue right now. Excuse me. If I can see where you are, I can get you started. This got look really painful on camera. Alright. Get my gun with a very low torque setting. And then we'll just zip these guys in. Make sure that hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Especially when you're going into plastic and you're gonna use a gun, definitely use a gun with that has a clutch in it. I mean, you heard me yesterday when I was doing like the bulkheads and the chassis braces and stuff like that. I was using my Milwaukee gun. Technically, in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to use it, that gun can destroy this truck is that is an impact driver, an impact gun. I have it on its lowest settings, so sometimes it sounds like it's doing a lot more damage than it really is, and it's not. It sounds vicious, but this one is actually has a right now I'm using torque setting 1 for doing these. Torque's the setting 1 for this gun it's more than enough to tighten into plastic. There's no metal. You don't want to strip the plastic out. If you're unsure, you're not too sure, there's nothing wrong with doing it by hand. Alright. Lay this guy down in my special stand. Oh. And now, as you can see, the radio box, or the servo box, is fully installed. Still have the stock pack in there. Gotta put the LiPo in. I'm just worried about the LiPo pack burning these servos out, because I'm going to go from 6 volts, and everyone knows that a 7.2 volt LiPo, 7.2 volt LiPo is actually 8.4 volts. So 8.4 volts into this receiver. Now technically, the new Losi 5 comes with a LiPo pack. I'm not sure if the MTXL does, but I know the new Losi RTR with the 29cc, that comes with a LiPo pack. And it uses the stock servos. I just don't know if that's a 7.2 volt. I'm pretty sure it's a 2S LiPo pack. The Killer RC pack is 7200 milliamp. So I guess I know everyone says that it gives a lot more push to the servos, and Lord knows this thing needs more push in the servos. Alright, with that done, that is the radio tray installed. I am just going to loosely put on the servos, the servo horns. I will fine tune them after. I'll grab my radio. That way I can neutral out all my settings and make sure all my servos are zeroed out. That way I'm in somewhat of a neutral position. So I have an idea that I know everything is somewhat right on the truck. Let's see if I can spin this thing around. Oh, look at that, it's spinning around. Hello. And now I can connect up. Let's see, that's power. And I might have to zip tie this out of the way. I had the old one zipped on. I am a real big fan of this chassis brace, I have to say. I'm digging this chassis brace. Very happy with it. Definitely very happy with that chassis brace. Alright, well I'm gonna cut, and I'm going to go grab the fuel tank, and we'll put that in. So hang tight. Alright, I kind of spared you the details of lining up all the holes on the fuel tank. So I'll just sock those in right now. Higher of a clutch setting. And that is the installation of the fuel tank of the Losi 5. That's done. Next step, engine time. Time to put in the engine. So I think we're going to do that next. Alright guys, how to put the engine in. I just have it loosely lying in place. I'm going to get everything ready so I can install it. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Okay. Got my 3mm. Alright. The engine is basically loosely in place. I'm just going to rock it in. Checking, make sure nothing's pinched. Alright. Now this is going to get a little tricky. This is the hardest part about this. Is flipping this guy on his belly and getting the first bolt started. Balls. This is just embarrassing. Alright. You guys probably noticed that I didn't put any Loctite on there. And there's a reason for that. The reason is I just wanted to get 2 of them started. And then what I'll do is I will put Loctite on these guys, and once I get the front ones in, I will then flip it back on. And put Loctite on the rest of them. I will say one thing about this this truck. Setting gear mesh on this truck, Losi truly did think of everything. Everyone's like, well, what if you have these little slugs? In case you're not familiar with the Losi 5, you have these little slugs. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but there it is. 19. That is for a 19 tooth pinion. What happens if your truck starts to wear out, if your gear, you can get a 19.5 to make up for the lack of gear mesh. And same thing, if you get a 20 tooth pinion, you would get a slug with a 20 tooth on it. That way, it makes setting gear mesh such a piece of cake, because setting gear mesh on an 8 scale truck can be kind of a pain while holding the thing upside down and just trying to wrestle in a little nitro motor. Try wrestling one of these motors in and then trying to set gear mesh. It can be a, how you say, a large pain in the balls. I'm looking fool. This is the last time I have that thing on its belly. And while I'm under here, let us not forget that the victory pipe has got to be secured. And boom. Put it back up to my stand. God, this thing is heavy with the engine in it now. I kind of miss just having just an empty chassis. That was nice. Let's see if I can fish my fuel lines out here. And turn. And then feed. I know I'm in the shot here and I'm blocking everything. All you see is my back and my head. And that's it. That was the installation of the engine and pipe. Next up, we're gonna pop the wheels on, center the servos, and this will be done. Hold tight. All right, guys, just about done. I loosely put the wheels on. I'm gonna tighten down. Then we're going to center the servos, and we're just about done. So, again, you can do this by hand, but I'm lazy. And actually off camera, I put on the new Proline trenchers in the rear. Got rid of the Baja Wides rears in the back. They were bald. I have fronts all the way around. Now we're going to just center the servos. Closer. I was a little annoyed because I was looking around for my rear bumper. Not that I was going to put it on, but I was cleaning up this morning before I went to work, and I think when I took the trash out, I think I I threw away my my good rear bumper. Oh well. What are you gonna do? All right, controller on, truck on. Actually, I think we might just be centered with the servo. What I'm gonna do is maybe turn on here. That way I can fine tune it with the radio later. Looks pretty good to me. Okay. Now. Bolts into the truck. Just a little bit of Loctite, as again it is going into a metal horn servo. Loctite is your friend on a 5th scale truck. Wish you guys have some. Put on the throttle horn. Should be at full throttle. Definitely got full brake. A little bit of Loctite on that guy. Lose the handy dandy stand. Alright. For ha-has, let's just pop this guy on. Voila! Alright guys, there is the rebuild of my Losi 5T. It's all back together again. Got my 0 degree toe in. That's all set. Nice, nice. Let's see how this goes. I might pick up the 1 degree and maybe kick it into 1. We'll see how the 0 works and how I like it. Everything's sitting straight. Perfectly towed in. I should clean the body. Looks a little dirty. Alright guys. That said, well, I'll probably just do one more video. I'll go over everything that I put into the truck. And that'll be it. But as far as the build video, that's it. Alright guys, talk to you later.